Monday morning, sports report.
Sport report. Not a lot of footy. I just want to get in quickly that the World Junior Athletics Championships in Peru
started with
was
us. Well done.
Absolutely off the chart for Australia. We had medals coming from every direction. We've got some genuine superstars. I reckon 8 of the 10 people that people are most excited about in athletics at the moment are juniors, 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are just incredible performances.
Well, talk to us about Gout.
Well, he got the silver medal in the 200 metres at the under-20 World Champs. He's 16. He's in grade 11 at Ipswich Grammar School.
Incredible.
He missed the
At
start.
what
He
age-
missed the start badly.
You know that viral video, by the way, about the 100 that he did? He missed the start bad in that.
Yeah, he's missed the start a bit. That's one thing they've got to work out. Might be a bit mental for him at the moment. That when they're that age, they don't tend to work on starts too much. They just want to let the kid run. But he's getting.
But he's just a natural.
He's got to sort it out.
And then at junior level, if he's under 16, and you said this morning he's still at grade 11.
Yeah, he ran. I should say 20.77 in the semi, 20.60, I think.
What age do you like? What's your last age of juniors?
Well, under 20 is World Juniors.
So he's racing against people 4 years older than him.
Yes.
And in the under 20 division, he's the second fastest 200-metre runner in the world.
And if you
what
watch
about the 100?
He storms home, misses the start. He should have won it. He didn't run the 100, but
is he a 200?
No, he will probably run hundreds as well. They're just trying to work out what's going on. But he's been running more 200s.
You put him up against who's our fastest Aussie at the moment?
Rowan Browning.
Rowan Browning,
those guys. Yeah.
Who wins? Would he be in our relay team?
In the 200, 20.6 would have put him right up there at the National Open final. Yeah, that was his PB. No, he could have easily been in the 4x1 relay team at the Olympics.
Wow.
But they didn't pick him.
Wow.
Because he's young and whatever.
Just let him keep developing.
Yeah,
So what has to happen for this young fella now? So he's 16. There's still so much more growing to go. And I don't know how many of you guys watch the sprint series. I'm watching it way too late. I should have watched it before the Olympics.
The Netflix one.
Yeah, the Netflix one. Like it's really good. Again, should have watched it before the Olympics. It sets up Noah Lyles, all the competitors that were there in the final. So what does he have to do? Take us behind the scenes of athletics. What does he need to do to? They're saying he's missing his start. So what development needs to happen?
He's got to work on the start. If he does that, I mean, some people would say, I think one of his coaches is saying we've got to put more muscle on him. I don't think that is not at this point.
Muscle's power, isn't it?
Yeah, but not as a 16-year-old. I think he just develops his body until he gets to 18, 19, 20 maybe. Usain Bolt wasn't. He was quite muscly.
He wasn't built like a bull, was he?
No, he's not built. And he's more that build. You look at the other guy from what's his name, St. Lucia, or whatever, the Ghost or whatever his name is that won in the Olympics. They're not the classic sort of sprinters. They're taller and leaner. So I think you just let him develop.
Carl Lewis wasn't that type of build either. It wasn't until sort of Ben Johnson came
Ben
along
Johnson
we started seeing. They looked like they
Linford Christie was a big guy. They had big guys, but Carl Lewis was not big. Wasn't a muscly guy.
No.
And he's one of the greats. You've got Cam Myers was second in the 1500, but he's going to be a superstar. Peyton Craig. There's a young fella that finished 7th in the 400 metres. Last year, he played at Norse Devils in their Div 2 under-16 team.
That's wild.
He's only been running for 2 years, and all of a sudden he's 7th.
He must have had defensive deficiencies.
They reckon the coach didn't like his hands much.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Who cares? Just give him the football. He's one of the fastest kids in the country. He's playing Div 2 at the Devils.
Listen, mate, if you can't back it up in defence.
Yeah.
They won the premiership, but in his time would have been, if his heat time would have got him 4th in the final. So it was his first major championships, and ran slower in the final.
What's his name?
Terrell Thorne.
It's a cool name.
Pretty cool name, eh?
Yeah, very cool.
His dad's Dave. He's like a hospital orderly. What do you call
Orderly?
it? Orderly?
Yep.
Yeah. Over on the south side somewhere. Just a nice chilled dude.
Yeah. That's very cool. All right. Well, then,
anyway, that's athletics.
Okay.
So very exciting. So do yourself a favour. Try and check out some of those names. Gout, Cam Myers, Peyton Craig.
Here's the final round of the NRL, just switching gears to the footy, and the repercussions for what's at stake for each of the games this weekend. So the Broncos Storm, I don't care any way you slice and dice it, Mitch. was the Newcastle result yesterday the nail in the coffin for the
I know.
Broncos? So that made mute your
Yes.
big email you sent through.
Yeah, 'cause I know you referenced it during the show,
redundant.
the ridiculousness situation, which I'm on the
It was
bus.
magnificent.
Yeah, thank you. And you know what? I thought about Nick, because I thought if anyone that's going to crunch the numbers and work this out in record speed and be able to tell me I'm wrong, it's going to be Nick. So I sat there very nervously after I sent that out. But
Pass with flying colours, my friend.
I'm on the bus on the way back. You know, we saw out the end of the game. You know, I've been talking about it all week in the office last week about you do not leave. You do not become one of those people that leaves even if your team's getting flogged, boys. But I sat there thinking, geez, I really want to break my own rule here, because that was a tough one to sit through. And I'm sitting on the bus with my boys, and I'm just sitting there working it out. And then I show it to my numbers freak kid who's 9, and his eyes are just starting to smile and light up as he's reading it. And then
You're telling me there's a chance.
He screams out across the bus to my oldest boy, who's sitting a couple of rows back, James, Dad's just worked out how the Broncos can still make the finals. And I'm like, shh, 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 it's a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I had like 6 heads turn their way toward me, and I'm like, well, it is true, but I don't want everyone to look at me and go, did you just see what kind of performance we threw out there? You still want to play finals? It's like, no. I'm just telling you how it would be possible, because it was the Titans needed to beat Newcastle to keep them on 26. The Roosters needed to beat the Raiders to keep them on 26. The Broncos then in this coming round would need to beat the Melbourne, let's even just say by 20, to move us to 28 points. The Raiders then need to beat the Dragons to keep the Dragons on 28 points, and with a poorer for and against than the Broncos. Newcastle would then have to beat the Dolphins, let's say 20. If the Broncos win by 20, Newcastle beat Dolphins by 20. Depending on the margin the Broncos storm, that then fluctuates the Newcastle Dolphins margin, which would keep the the Dolphins side on 28, but it would give us the bet up for and against. And I said, it's that easy, guys. What happens yesterday? Well, of course, Newcastle come out and beat the Titans, as they should, so that doesn't help. And then the Roosters go on and lose to the Raiders, which was magnificent to watch if you're a Green Machine fan, because they beat Penrith last week to keep them out of the top 2, and then by beating the Roosters yesterday, handed the top 2 position back to the Panthers. So it does, though, I mean, putting the Broncos' love aside, it makes that extra game this week, because we've already got Spoon Bowl, that's been guaranteed for 2 weeks between the Eels and the Tigers on Friday night, and then we get to what looks to be the most likely case, that final game of the round on Sunday night, where you've got Newcastle hosting the Dolphins. The Dolphins currently sitting in the 8. Newcastle equal points. It's only for and against that's the difference. And the winner, you would think, unless the Dragons, they've got the poorer for and against anyway, they would have to beat the Raiders by some heavy margin, and even then they're done. So it's the Dolphins Newcastle.
So we're all in on the Knights.
Winner gets into the 8. Yeah, it's a spicy round coming up. So I'm almost glad that the Broncos. It's been hard enough hoping and wishing and wanting, and now we just get to sit back and enjoy like 2 or 3 really key games that are going to make up who makes the 8 and where everybody sits, and who's maybe got the home game, like that sort of top 2. Penrith and Roosters, 2 and 3. Had the Roosters won yesterday. Roosters are hosting Panthers. Now Panthers at this stage are hosting the Roosters. So
it's a big turnaround, isn't it?
But those injuries yesterday, my God, I didn't catch up on that until this morning. I didn't see much of the game.
They lost. I was driving, actually. I was listening to it on the radio.
Yeah.
It was just like they lost Brandon Smith, Sam Walker, Victor Radley.
Yep.
I haven't heard what's happened to Victor Radley, but
shoulder, I think.
So is he out for the year, or is he still around?
I haven't heard the update this morning, because I don't think it's as severe as the other 2 with ACLs that's ruling them out. Yeah.
They're both done.
Yeah.
Walker and that's terrible news for Walker.
Yeah. Oh, and with all due respect to
it's 12 months. It's 12
Smith,
months now.
Yeah. I'm like losing Walker. That is huge, because you look at Melbourne. They're up there.
He's your money man.
Yep, and even just the kicking alone, like, he's out there. I mean, maybe they don't even come down to that final kick from the sideline to put him in the golden point. Maybe they don't find themselves behind like that throughout the entire game. But no, that's because now really you could look at it and go, this is just a 2-horse race now. Because I'm still not convinced by the Sharkies. The Bulldogs, maybe they're a bit of a dark horse. They seem to not really care who they're playing. I know that they got beaten this week, but it's really going to come down to Melbourne and Penrith now, surely. I thought the Roosters might have been the other team that's going to really challenge them. But
hey, did Tupu play Origin this year, Daniel Tupu?
No.
I don't think so.
No, don't think so.
Just the try scorers list is an interesting one. I know there's still a week to go, but on the top try scorers list for the NRL, there's not many representative players, current locked-in representative players on. Like you look at Khan Pereira is on top, then Kyle Felt, then Dominic Young, then Daniel Tupu, then Trebojevic, but he's still okay. Like he's a bona fide superstar. Trebojevic that's on there. He hasn't played a lot this year. He's been injured a lot as well. But then Taruva, Mulatalo, Tommy Talau from the Sea Eagles, and DWZ from the Warriors.
Wow.
It's a long way down the list to find
before someone's playing Origin.
Yeah, to find an Origin.
They're all wingers?
Winger.
They're all wingers.
Yeah, mostly all wingers. Wing. Yeah.
Interesting.
The Kyle Felt thing too, him being second there, like it was a weekend for those.
Felt got 20 tries this year. He's been phenomenal for a long time. He was still around scoring tries back in 2015 when he won the grand final.
And I felt like he'd been around for a long time then.
He felt like he was old then.
Yes.
He just looks old.
Yeah.
The beard and everything. Like it just,
But he played on, Thursday night against the Storm. That was his final game in Townsville, and they got the wins. He gets to sort of farewell the Cowboys.
Is he retiring or moving overseas?
Moving overseas, yeah.
He's going overseas.
Yep.
Smart. That'd be so cool, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you reckon? It's the way to do it. Like, you play your NRL career, and then you head over to... I'd go to France, I reckon.
Go over as a veteran. They'll look after you.
Go to France.
Go, good weekend.
Yeah.
I'm only going to train 2 days a week. But, But
I'll give you 15 tries in 10 games.
But,
okay,
and they reckon that there are... If you talk to them, they reckon that there's games that you go, okay, this is going to be like a proper game this week. But then there's other games where you go, no, we'll shit it in over there. It's nothing like the NRL. Tio said that, didn't he? Luttsy?
Yeah.
Tio reckons he went off and played the rugby, rugby union.
In Ireland.
And he's like, it just prolonged his career because it wasn't as hard as NRL.
He told stories about playing French rugby, and the day before a game, they're drinking wine. They're just having a nice, like a big team lunch. They're having a great time.
No one gives a shit.
But then they'd roll out on the Friday night and smash the team they played and go, all right, well, this is a great lifestyle.
Yeah. So we started drinking Guinness. I've never had a Guinness in my life. We'd finished training and popped down to the pub and have a pint of Guinness. Like that's when he was at Leinster. Crazy.
Back in like the 90s, 2000s, my mate Barry went over to play. He played rugby at one of those clubs over there. Look, one of those big clubs, and he hates the cold, hates it. And he reckons there was one game where he was getting ready to go out on the field, and he had 2 pairs of socks on, but he also had his tracksuit pants on, and he was going out to play, and the coach had to go, hey, you got to take your... you got to take... Like, he had his socks over his tracksuit pants, and he just wanted to play. No, Barry, you got to actually... You got to go out there with just the shorts on.
Well, only a couple of years ago,
awesome.
International Rugby actually brought in a rule that you over the Northern Hemisphere you can play with long skins on now. So you think about those wingers over in a cold night in Ireland.
Yes,
that would just be hell.
Yeah.
So
it was
it makes sense.
Tio didn't play the game. Went and watched. He was injured, and we sat in this grandstand and watched Leinster play. Whatever.
Leinster Munster.
So cold. Yeah. Like it was beyond cold. It was the most unpleasant experience.
Yeah, you pray for a scrum.
Oh yeah, anything.
It'd be delicious in there.
Any contact. Yeah, crazy.
Lions.
Yeah, here we go. So elimination final this Saturday at the Gabba.
Right.
Carlton. Look, don't put a line through them. They've had a chance this week off to get some numbers back into the side. Like they're still they fell over the line into finals, so they're playing on house money here, but. I wouldn't just write it off straight away as an easy W. They will have players come back. Paddy Cripps is still in great form, but look, the Lions will have a couple of defenders coming back too. I think they should be able to get Jack Payne back, one of their key stars, to help out Harris Andrews, how he missed out on All-Australian, I don't know, but it should be a pretty set result. But don't come in too confident. Yeah. And just really 1 week at a time here, because next week, if they do get through to...
What happens if they win?
Loser of Sydney and GWS, who are 2 of the more form teams this year.
That'll be down
there. That'll be down in Sydney.
1v4.
That's the 1v4, yes.
So that's more than likely going to be GWS?
Yeah, look, those teams have an incredible rivalry in finals. They always run up against each other, and you never know whose game it is. So that'll be one of the games of the finals. Unfortunately, the other side of the draw is probably the easier one. Bulldogs and Hawthorn, who are just... the 2 informed teams of the comp right now. Unfortunately, elimination final, one of them's out at the end of Friday night. And then Port and Geelong, they'll play at Adelaide Oval on this Thursday night. And either of them, I reckon, are very vulnerable, even if they make a prelim. So, unfortunately, we've found ourselves on the wrong side of the draw here. But you can only just go what's in front of you. And look, our man, Lachie Neale, hopefully can lead us to victory.
And that's, geez, how many Lions players are AFL coaches?
A lot.
Voss.
So here we go.
There you go. So Voss is
brothers, Scott
boys, yep.
So they're at different teams.
Yeah, they're at Chris is at the Cats and Brad is at the Bombers. That's how you remember it.
And Collingwood's Craig
McRae.
McRae.
Yep.
So he played in those teams.
Yep, and you've still got
What's that? That's
Leper
is an assistant coach. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there any other head coaches? No.
No more head coaches, but there have been more in the past. Like I went back and looked at the 2004 grand final when the Lions lost. About half the players out there have at some point been AFL coaches.
Wow.
Isn't
that amazing?
It's just incredible. But just on the coaching, big write-up in the Courier Mail today about Chris Fagan. And I like the sort of sense of, I guess, self-awareness here, that he's put his hand up and said that if I can't get us through to a premiership, I'll walk away. Because Fags he's the only coach in the competition, and has been for a very long time, that never played at the highest level. So never played. He played down state footy down in Tasmania, but never played VFL and never played at AFL level, unlike everyone else. And I think he's kind
of
yeah. So he took over the Lions when they were a basket case in 2016. Had a young list, brought players in, Charlie Cameron, Lachie Neale, and now this is the Lions' 6th final series in a row. So they've done an incredible job.
Pretty impressive.
It's so impressive, but
it's got the 18th, 15th, and semi-prelim, GF, and now.
Yeah, so
Fagan's record.
Yeah, but when you talk about a premiership window, there's only about you can only stay there for so long. And if he when
did he come? 2019.
He came 2017 was his first season.
That's when he was here.
Yeah, that's when he came in the Lions. If you remember back in the day, sort of that 14, 15, 16, it was borderline embarrassing to go to the Gabba.
It was not a pleasant experience.
It was very, very tough to deal with. So, yeah, look, I like what he's saying. Don't be too fooled by it. He's a brilliant coach, but I like the awareness of a coach to go, maybe I'm not the right person to take this club by putting the club first.
That's interesting.
He's not doing too bad.
Exactly.
You can only have one winner each year,
and that's the thing. You
can't really put much on him at all.
He's done
missing goals from in front.
That's
not been one of their major criticisms. What do you want him to do? Get out there and kick it?
No, there's
whispering the
nothing
guys
against
here,
him.
kick this one straight.
Yeah.
Just send the runner out to him just in time. By the way, big sticks.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Fags said to say, kick it between the posts.
Thanks so much.
Well, thanks for that.
Thanks.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Squirt of water. You're good to go.
Have you still play, Nick?
Yep.
He's into a grand final this week.
Yeah, well, good luck, by the way.
Thank you,
Who are you up against?
The winner of Glasshouse Mountains and Ferny Grove on Friday.
Right.
So we'll find out.
Do you think there's anything, and shoot me down if you don't think this is the case, so when you take a set shot and you stop and you pull your socks up and you walk back and you fucking get the grass. And show which way the wind's going, and then you walk and then you come in and you freaking spray the thing, like, is there something in just taking a mark and just
kicking it,
just running back and kicking it like you're doing a training?
Lutz, Friday night, first quarter, took a mark on my chest, probably 10, 15 metres out, and I was on a very slight angle, and I did not want to. I'm a bit shaky on my set shot kicking at the moment.
Yeah.
I ran around, kicked it over my shoulder straight away before the defence had set up. I'm like, no, I'm just going to run around and snap onto my right. Kick the goal, but I was like, I didn't in that moment want to back myself, and I think
so. That was just that little hit, because I mean, if you go to an AFL training session, like, they hit every chest every time
in their passing drills.
It's so precise.
It's incredible.
Their kick passing drills.
I was when I played that QAFL, and I was embarrassing because I'd stuff up the drills because I didn't know how to kick properly, and it stops the whole thing because everyone just nails everything, it's precision.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I know.
But you're right. A far bigger target, it shouldn't make sense. Yeah, when you can hit something.
It makes no sense, right?
But again, Ash, I always say, take it back.
Like standing over a putt.
Take back your putting.
Can you think of a guy if you're at a kids clinic and there's Lachie Neale's there. Go, Lachie, okay, as an example, I now kick little Gary. He's 30 metres away. Boom. Imagine him spraying it. Just it wouldn't happen. Like, it doesn't.
It's incredible.
They don't do it. Yet they stand in front of those two big sticks.
Yeah. Put on a whole show.
The whole show and then can miss the entire...
I try to look to, for example, our ground, I try to look to the trees at the back. I always go, just kick it into the trees. Just kick it into the trees.
That's a good one.
Don't look at or you find a target or something.
Or if it's in a crowd, someone in the crowd.
Something like that, or I always go, just kick through it. All you got to do, just kick through it. But the moment you start overthinking it, oh, you're stuffed. So, yeah, it's a thing, and that's the thing. A miss breeds another miss because that pressure's in your head going, oh, Luttsy just missed one, Ash just missed one. Geez, we need one right now.
Yeah, now it's my turn.
Yep.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'll be the man. If I kick this, I'll be the man. Say it.
Say it. Oh, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
I'm not the man.
So
There's also that other side, too, that if you line up a kick, you go, I'm going to kick this, I'm going to kick this, and then go, you know what? If you miss it, it's going to be,
oh, that little voice.
Very embarrassing here. Oh, what is that for?
Oh, no,
now I'm having negative thoughts. Let me test the grass. I'll throw the grass in the air. Go away.
Oh, that did a lot, didn't it? Cool. You know where the wind's going. Well done.
The post in your brain. Smaller. Yeah, so that's Saturday.
Yes, Saturday night.
Sellout.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, done within 24 hours. Right. But unfortunately, the way the AFL does it, they always open up the tickets for the away fans and they travel up and those Carlton fans know how to make some noise. Last year when Joe Danaher and Hipwood were warming up and the 14,000 Carlton fans, their vocal roar just on a killer run, they were booing every set shot in practice and it was parochial. So they'll travel up. They'll go hard.
Okay.
So Lions fans, turn up.
Turn up
And turn up the voice.
Yep.
And the brothers won the rugby grand final.
I did.
In the QRU. Yeah, and the Wallabies won.
Yes.
The Wallabies beat Argentina.
Yeah, penalty just at the 79th minute. And Harry Wilson, Queensland boy, his first win as captain. So great for us. Good I didn't see that coming. Good, really strong forward pack Argentina have. And we managed to hold up. And that's the thing. Like we used to think about Argentina as, they're just sort of, we play against.
Was that in Argentina?
Yeah, it was.
Test, yeah.
Over in La Plata. But, we always used to think of Argentina as this side that, they're Southern Hemisphere. They knock around with us. Oh, they're a bloody good team now.
The Pumas.
Las Pumas.
The Pumas.